He hit the national headlines after topping the 2009 Indian administrative exams. A decade later, he has again caught the interest of the public after his surprising resignation from the services to join active politics in Kashmir. He termed his decision a small defiance and protest against the unabated killings in Kashmir and announced that he was going to change the politics of the valley. Born in the remote village of Sogam in North Kashmir's Kupwara district, a doctor by profession, he was used by New Delhi as a counter-narrative to the discourse of alienation that is driving youth to militancy and protests. Welcome to our show, Let's Talk. Congratulations on starting your new endeavor. Let me begin by asking you this. It's quite evident now that you're starting your own political journey, right? Does that mean you're starting your own political party?
Haris, honestly speaking, I had never thought about the kind of public support which I have gathered in the last couple of weeks. The political journey which is happening at this moment, it's people's-led journey. And a lot of people are actually raising questions that what kind of politics are you doing? You're asking people, you're asking youngsters for their suggestions. I said my politics is not for myself, it's not a conventional politics. I'm not somebody who comes from a political dynasty. So this journey is turning out to be a political movement. Honestly speaking, I had not thought about it that way, but I'm happy something is happening.
So you're saying that it's going to be a political party?
As of now, I'm happy that it's turning out to be a political movement. A lot of youngsters are joining with fresh ideas. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of apprehension as well. People are scared, people are apprehensive, people have doubts, don't know what is going to happen. Will this movement tomorrow turn into or convert into a political party? I think I need some more time to take a decision on that.
Okay. So there were a lot of suggestions before you joined the political foray that you are going to join NC. Was there a change of mind because of the sort of criticism you faced from a section of society, or was it always pre-planned?
I think there was a lot of speculation about the political party I was likely to join, and a lot of people did talk about me joining Congress, about People's Conference, PDP, all parties possibly under the sky. And but finally the decision had to be taken only after I resigned. While I was a public servant, it was not possible for me to join any political party. So I think I've been very clear from that day one, from the day of my resignation, that I'll not be joining any existing political party. Definitely the kind of public sentiment and the feedback which I got, it did have a role in taking this decision.
Right. Umar Abdullah, in his interview to ET today, said that if Shah Faesal fights an election with us, against us, he's going to defeat you and they're not going to take any political prisoners. What do you make of that?
Every political party has a right to contest. I have not come here into politics for seeking concessions from other political parties. Obviously, Umar Saab has every right as a party to contest elections, and if I treat myself as a rival to any other political party, it's very natural that they will also be fighting elections against me. I don't think there's anything surprising in that.
Right. So if tomorrow you fight elections, every political party has a political plank. Is it going to be, what is your political party going to fight on? Is it going to fight on the soft separatism, like what PDP does? Or is it going to be on the development issues like what the BJP and the PC claims?
As of now, I'm saying that it's not a political party.
Right.
At the most, it could be a public movement. But one day, if maybe it becomes a political party, then I think I'm trying to tread a very unique and a very narrow space. That space takes care of the sentiment, that acknowledges the sentiment, but also talks about the development. My political party or my political ideology is not that I believe that development is going to be the solution, because as a civil servant, I have seen it very closely, that development may be providing certain solutions, but development is far inadequate, insufficient in building an environment in which development can happen in Kashmir. So unless you do something about the political processes also, only then something positive can happen. So I think that's that narrow space which I'm trying to place myself in.
Right. Every political party has come out with a sort of their own version of how Kashmir should be resolved, the Kashmir issue should be resolved. Do you plan as a political movement, as you say as of now, Are you going to come up with any white paper of your own, your vision, how the dispute can be resolved?
So as of now, I'm saying that there are already many futures which have been imagined for Kashmir. We have futures like futures which also got electoral endorsement. Suppose we have a future that autonomy is possibly the solution. We have a future that's achievable nationhood is a solution, self-rule is a solution, plebiscite is a solution, right to self-determination is a solution. I'm saying that these solutions have been already there, but we never reached a stage where these solutions could be discussed. So I'm saying that let's have a process-oriented approach. Let's first build in confidence in the system, wherein all these solutions and many other futures which possibly can be imagined tomorrow, they can be discussed. So what is that process? That process is one that we have seen an environment of siege, an environment of political suffocation in Valley. So can we do first something about that? Can we talk to Hurriyat, which is a very important stakeholder of peace in Kashmir? Can we do something about the political prisoners who have been denied political space in the Valley? Can we do something about demilitarization from the civilian areas? Can we do something about reclaiming those spaces which have been left by youth, which have been abandoned by youth? Can we do something about the India-Pakistan equation of the conflict? So those are not necessarily immediately the solutions which we're talking about, but those are the steps to solutions. My vision as of now is let's talk about those solutions first. Let's not show new dreams to the people unless we at least walk a few steps towards the solutions.
You have stated right from the beginning that your process is going to be work within the mainstream fold, right? But if the mainstream is sort of a representation of the status quo of some sorts, and you on the other hand are saying that you look for something beyond that, is there a paradox in what you're saying?
I see mainstream could become an important facilitator of peace in Kashmir. Finally, my belief is that how are you going to reach out to solutions? The solutions will be finally coming, most importantly, from the Indian state. You will have to engage with the Indian state. And who is going to engage with the Indian state? The biggest engagement of Indian state is presently with the mainstream politician. If the mainstream politician takes a stance and works very sincerely towards resolution, towards building peace here, towards not acting as an agency that kind of obliterates the space for the sentiment here, I think it's possible that mainstream could actually be providing solutions.
Right. You have categorically stated that you're not going to join Hurriyat, right? But do you seek an engagement with them? Because they do represent a certain sentiment on the ground.
I have been time and again saying that Hurriyat is perhaps the most important stakeholder when it comes to conflict resolution. So no political party, no political worker, no political leader in Kashmir can succeed unless they frankly engage with Hurriyat and they take them on board. I believe at this moment I'm not here to talk against anybody, honestly speaking, because the idea fundamentally is to take everybody along. I see myself as maybe an addition to the existing voices, and I believe that maybe the system could possibly be using me. I'll be very happy to be used by other stakeholders for maybe taking the cause further.
Right. In a scathing article in the Scroll-In, senior journalist Parvez Bukhari said that Shah Faesal joining politics is more about himself and not about Kashmir. What do you say about such criticism?
I see a certain kind of rigidity in the way people approach events and happenings in Kashmir. I think we have a certain narrative here where we believe that the only way to serve Kashmir is about doing a certain path. When it actually happens that suppose there is a journalist, he is doing something about Kashmir, you have a doctor who is doing something about Kashmir, you have a professor who is doing something in his university about Kashmir, you have a writer who is doing something about his Kashmir. So I think there are many possible paths. Getting personal when the engagement could have been purely intellectual. Somebody like Parvez Bukhari, I think this was not expected, that he would get personal in an article against me. Maybe the argument would have been a bit more imaginative, I would have expected.
You have mentioned before that Sujat played quite an important role in your life, and his killing did shock you. Why would you say that he was sort of a mentor of yours, or how did you see the relation?
I had a very unique relationship with Shujat Bukhari. Initially, we were not even friends, but later on, we did develop a kind of an engagement which was more about Kashmir, which was more about the intellectual space that he occupied, and I also was trying to kind of come into that as a newcomer. He was somebody who had a very good understanding of Kashmir issue, who traveled a lot abroad, and who had a vision about how things could possibly work here. So when he was assassinated, that was a personal setback for me, and that also, as I've been saying, that it changed the fundamental meaning of life. It brought in a certain element of fearlessness, a little bit of courage in me, that now that death is so rampant here, possibly everybody can die. Even Shuja could die, even I could die. So there's no time now left to procrastinate and to stay back. We need to do something about things.
You're calling your movement a public movement, and you're saying that this movement is led by public. There are certain grievances which is quite embedded in the lexicon of the local politics. Issues such as AFSPA, PSA. How would you tackle such issues? What is your position on
My position is the people's position. I completely agree that there is a lot of scope when it comes to implementation of various laws in Kashmir. There has been a lot of resentment against laws like Public Safety Act, like AFSPA, and these have become huge irritants to peace building in Kashmir. I'm not actually sure about how much of contribution these laws make towards bringing peace, or what kind of normalcy as we imagine it to the valley. There is no scientific study which tells us that AFSPA, had it not been there, then things would have been different. The kind of mess which we are seeing in Kashmir at the moment, it's in spite of AFSPA and PSA. So I don't see any logic basically to continuation of these acts in the form that they are. And I believe that it's fairly doable for any properly elected political government to do something about these laws in consultation with Delhi, if we can somehow build that kind of environment in the valley.
You talked about militarization, and somebody who has been in the administration, what is your take on demilitarization of the Kashmir Valley, which is one of the main issues which concerns a lot of people, especially in the frontier areas, somewhere you also hail from?
I have seen it from the administration side, and we have seen the kind of mobilization which has been happening here. I believe that if militarization was the solution, then we would have been absolutely normal this time. We have possibly the record highest number of soldiers posted here at the moment, but we are not seeing any thaw in the situation. So I believe that thinking just militarily possibly is not going to give us any solution. Finally, it's the politician who should stick his neck out and not put the soldier and the military person and the CRPF person on the chopping block. It's not finally the military who's expected to deal with the people here. It's finally the political people who should do it. And one feels really bad the way things are happening.
Right. Issues such as abrogation of Article 370 and the Article 35A, BJP has already made inroads into Jammu based on these subjects. What is your position vis-a-vis these subjects, and how do you seek to tackle any political party that challenges these constitutional norms?
I believe it's extremely unfortunate that while there's a problem in Kashmir, you are creating further problems and adding to them. And the existing constitutional arrangement, which is between the state of Jammu and Kashmir and the Union of India, which is in itself contested, you're doing certain provocations which are obviously adding fuel to the fire. So my belief is that Article 35A, Article 370, they should not at all tinkered with. If there is an issue about the property rights of women, I think there are other ways to deal with that, and the courts have taken cognizance. I think courts have been completely open to giving rights to the female citizens of the Jammu and Kashmir state. But when it comes to doing it as part of an agenda, that we want to forcefully integrate and forcefully assimilate states and people, I think that's not how things happen.
Right. We are seeing a large number of youth now taking up arms, and militancy is something that has never gone out of the Kashmir conundrum. How do you seek to engage with the youth who have taken up arms, and already the existing groups which function in Kashmir?
My belief is that it's fundamentally the duty of the Indian state to engage with those people who have challenging the authority of the Indian state. All I can say is that I can be one more voice which can inform the Indian state, which can inform the government of India about the crisis and the situation. I do understand that those youngsters who have picked up gun, what are the situations in which those guys have picked up guns? It's not something which has been happening here always. These people are highly educated people. So Indian state will have to engage, and Indian state will have to reach out to find a solution to that.
Right. One last question. Pakistan is a big stakeholder in the Kashmir conflict. How do you think you can reach out to the Islamabad? Is it going to be a direct reach out, or do you think you'll still take the course of Delhi?
I think what I can exhort upon is that India and Pakistan have been having a conversation on Kashmir for the last so many years now. It's unfortunate that in recent years we have seen that conversation falling off and dropping out, and the tensions have risen, due to which we have seen a lot of escalation on the borders. The lives of people who are living on the borders has been made hell. So all I can say is that we need to tell the government of India that you need to pick those threads again. That conversation needs to start again. We have seen that whenever there's a dialogue process happening between these two countries, things have actually improved. The lives of Kashmiri people, the lives of Jammu people have improved. All I can say is that that conversation needs to be picked up again.
Thank you, Shah Faesal. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you, Haris. Thank you very much.